New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Kim Sage. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and this next few series of videos are going to go a little further into what I like to call mama trauma. What is mama trauma, you may ask? I believe it is really what happens to us when we have parents, and oftentimes our primary caregivers, who really do struggle with disorders like borderline, narcissism, their own wounding or mental health issues, maybe trauma issues. But whatever happens is that over time, it's not a one-time event. It's a chronic, classic CPTSD dynamic where there's chronic interpersonal trauma, often between you and your caregiver, which it may be an auntie or grandmother, but it really is that mother role. And I'm going to make other videos on what I call papa trauma, which is about trauma with our fathers, but I'm going to finish out this part with mama trauma.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned for a week-ending slapper of a topic. You know the voice of reason don't play no games. Listen, this topic was delivered to me by none other than my woman. We were having a discussion, man, and she was just talking about how there are a lot of hurt brothers that treat women horribly. And so she asked me the question, can brothers say anything positive about the woman they're sleeping with? Because she says, as a woman, her experience has led her to believe, to know, that men, many men, I should say, brothers in general, really don't like women. Just by the way they treat women. Really don't like women. Then we get hit with COVID. And COVID forces people to go inside and be in their relationships. You saw a spike in domestic violence during COVID because that's very clear or indicative of not having any relational tools in your toolbox. And we all know whatever is in your toolbox has been inherited from your primary caregiver's toolbox. And so with COVID came the rise of a brother that many brothers flock to, Kevin Samuels. And I remember the first time I heard Kevin Samuels, people wanted to get my opinion because we are in the same lane, so to speak. I see myself as 100%, 180 degrees opposite of him and his work. But people were pressing me, Zoe, what do you think of this new dude, Kevin Samuels? Zoe, Kevin Samuels reminds me of you a little bit. He got some of that yo stuff and da-da-da. So I go check him out. And I go watch the videos. The brother, you cannot disrespect. The brother was a phenomenon. He took off. Everybody's watching Kevin Samuels. And so as I began to watch a little of his work, you couldn't get away from all of the clips. The clip of the woman calling herself a 5. And, I started to, look at some of his stuff. People wanted me to bash him, but I didn't. What I said was, he's 100% right if we're talking about superficial, materialistic, socially driven relationships. 100% right. If we're talking about just that narrow lane. So when I started The Voice of Reason in March of 2022, what did I say? I started off with my famous Krishnamurti quote. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. So for me, Kevin Samuels was a byproduct of the toxicity of the society in which we live. His word was needed. Now, did I agree 100% with what he had to say? No, but I saw how it made sense for the current level of toxicity that we live in within this society. So I started to say, to relationships, Kevin Samuels is to relationships what the 48 Laws of Power is to all the people that read that book. I said the 48 Laws of Power is a book of how to become a master social mercenary. This is how you win. This is how you get ahead. Hey, don't look smarter than your boss. Rule number 1, do not look smarter than your boss because he's in a different position than you are, right? Cool. But if you read that book and you understand Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, it's a book of manipulation. And so, for all the brothers out there who didn't have a word, who felt like they didn't have a voice, Kevin Samuels gave them that voice. Right? Can we just get into the real deal of why some men, will sleep with women they don't like? Ooh, why some men would entertain women they don't like? I'm talking to the brothers tonight. 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Brothers, what do you love about sisters? Brothers, can you say something positive, something loving, something nurturing about your sisters without backing it up with something negative? Can you tell your woman? Is it okay to say something about your woman publicly? Are you ashamed of your woman? If so, why? As I was speaking to my girl, I said, listen, I believe brothers are not exempt from being hurt and wounded in their early childhood. In the research that I've been doing, every time we talk about somebody mess, every time we talk about somebody baggage, we're talking about a caregiver. We're talking about what they modeled in their childhood from their primary caregiver. Right? And my girl, she was bringing up stuff that I never thought was a real situation. But there's brothers out here who don't mind having sex with women, sisters, but really don't like sisters. Don't like to hear them talk. Don't know how to make a safe space in their home for the woman to be herself as if she was at home. You got brothers out here labeling acts of kindness towards your woman as simping. Towards your woman? Listen, we know a lot of brothers been hurt by sisters. This is not about saying sisters are exempt or are exonerated for any wrongdoings that have been done or perpetuated against brothers in relationships. We know that there are some bad apples out there. But brothers, can you speak on your woman publicly without fear of reprisal or retribution? My girl asked a simple question. Can brothers say anything positive about sisters without saying something negative? And to keep it a buck, these are her questions. She said, what positive things can brothers say about the woman or about the women, he has been, intimate with? Can he say something positive about the women he's been intimate with? And if he can't, why not? 1-800-920-1580. Do you spend time with women or a woman that you don't like, brother? And why is that? I'm going back to the mother wound. I believe a lot of brothers are hurt and never understood the process of getting unhurt. Do some men like to tear women down through sexual connections? Meaning what? Meaning, once you get the sex, you flip into an entirely different person. You don't show any consideration or care towards the woman. You've met your objective. Oh, Lord. I want to hear from y'all. Are y'all going to talk tonight? Brothers, are y'all going to get on the phone line and talk real tonight? Because my sister, listen, when I do these types of topics, and before I come on the air, I ask sisters, what do you think? Sisters are saying they can't trust us. Sisters are saying brothers in a lot of ways are unsafe to be around, are not relationship material, let alone marriage material. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-91580. Get to your phone line, get to your phone line. What positive things can you say about the woman you have been intimate with? Do you spend time with a woman or women that you do not like? Do some men like to tear women down through sexual connections? How might a man's early relationship with his mother influence his emotional openness in an intimate relationship, in a romantic relationship? You got beef with your mama? You got unresolved issues with your mama? And you expect your woman to pick up where she left off? That's not how this works. That's not how it works. How might a man's early relationship with his mother influence his emotional openness in a romantic relationship? What are some of the common signs that a man might be struggling with unresolved mother wounds? How does society's expectation of masculinity impact a man's willingness to address his mother wound? Can you explore the connection between a man's relationship with his mother and his ability to trust and connect with his woman? Ugh. You got to heal it with mama, man. You got to heal it with mama. Ladies, I want to hear from the ladies. Ladies, how many little boys have you dated? They're chronologically men. But little boys in spirit. Little boys in empathy. Little boys in compassion. Huh? Has their mother enabled them to be this way? Ooh, Lord. She was toxic, but she babied them while being toxic toward them. How does that translate into adult relation? Oh, Lord, have mercy. How does society's expectations of masculinity impacts a man's willingness to address his mother wound? Can you explore the connection between a man's relationship with his mother and his ability to trust and connect with his intimate partner? How might a man's perception of his mother's love affect his self-esteem and self-worth in relationship? I don't know. Right? How a man can be in a relationship. Yes, I do. I do know this. I do know this. I cannot take myself off. Listen, every relationship I've been in, I was wounded. Right? I was wounded. And with each relationship failure, I gained a little bit more insight into me. The man you see before you today is the best man I've ever been. Does that make me perfect? No. I had a mother who did her best with what she had, but I do recognize I lack a lot in this area. My girl was describing things that hit home because I've done them. Are y'all ready for a real talk tonight? Can brothers call in and be totally transparent? Can you say something positive about your woman without saying something negative? Can you uplift your woman? Can you empower your woman? Can you encourage your woman? Can you inspire your woman without trying to tear her down? Who taught us to tear the people we're chasing down? When I come forward, the phone lines are already cracking all over the country. We about to cook with grease.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Alan Robarge. Welcome to the New Love Addiction, where we are not talking about addiction. We're talking about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And I want to talk about relating and healing a attachment wound as it relates to your mother or the mother. And this is a bit complicated. There's a lot of layers here, which of course we know there's this idea of the archetypal mother, the archetype, this universal symbol of the mother is just so profoundly meaningful and impactful. Just hear the phrase, the mother, and that's so meaningful to our psyche. It's so integral to our development as human beings. And we do not need to literally be talking about mother. This could be your primary caregiver. This could be someone who was a mother figure. But we use that word because the point of this video is to acknowledge the layers and the complexity of making peace with and integrating and understanding what does it mean to be conscious of the mother-child relationship, and to be conscious of how that interaction impacts and also impacted obviously our personality, our development of who we are today, but very much influences still today how we create relationships as adults. And if you have some history of attachment injuries occurring in your family system, and maybe even playing out due to the quality of your relationship with your mother, this could have perhaps shown up in your mind and in your nervous system and in your brain as a trauma, attachment trauma. So if you're on a healing path to heal attachment trauma, you inevitably are going to be looking at the history of what you learned in relationship with your mother, as well as pointing towards how you have grown beyond the previous ways of relating and or improved upon what was given. So what I want to point out is that there are many ways to think about interacting with this content of, we say, your relationship with your mother or the mother. So I want to begin by pointing out the literal person, the physical person, the woman who is your mother. Perhaps she's passed away, so she's no longer living. But the person, the physical person, the real person as your mother, we want to acknowledge that framework. The reason why it's important to think to call that out is because I want to introduce the introject of your mother. So we have inherited, the brain has coded the memory of the mother. So if I'm speaking for myself and if I'm thinking of my mother, there is a physical person who is the mother, the real person that my mother is still living, so the person I interact with. But then there's also the person in my mind who is my memory, who is the composite of my life experience with the real person. And it's that introject, that internalized image of who she both was to me and also who she is to me, that essentially I'm looking at my relationship to my own imaginary idea of this internalized mother.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Georgia State Republican lawmaker is calling for an investigation of Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This comes after Willis charged former President Donald Trump and 18 others with allegedly trying to overturn the state's 2020 election results. State Senator Colton Moore said Willis is conducting a political persecution of Trump. Moore thinks Willis should be completely defunded of any state money and investigated for possible impeachment. He also said a probe is needed due to poor conditions at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta. And more people between 19 and 60 years old are using marijuana and hallucinogenic drugs. That's according to a study from the University of Michigan. It showed that marijuana use has spiked to around 44% of adults under 30, compared to 28% a decade ago. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
At Southern California Edison, they're installing insulated power lines and using the latest technology to help keep our communities safe from wildfire. Learn more at sce.com/mitigation.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute, because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
In a world like today, it's a rare occasion to be able to see young mothers like the ones that were around when I grew up. But they live on in memory to quite a few of us. And this song is dedicated to those who cherish that memory. Early one Sunday morning, breakfast was on the table. There was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school, filled with a Lord of glory. We learned the holy story. She'll always have her dreams, despite the things this troubled world can bring. Oh, say,
come on.
Don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Voice of Reason. We've come full circle after having come forward. Live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight's topic, a topic that was presented to me by my significant other. She basically saying men don't really like sisters, and she was speaking for her generation as well. You have to understand, healing from the mother wound requires reframing past experiences. in an attempt to create a more positive and nurturing narrative for self, which is why in my book, The Shrouded Lighthouse, chapter 14 or lecture 14 talks about the power of self-authorship. And yes, you can heal from your attachment style that that you picked up from, or that you modeled from your early upbringing. But you also, as men, we also have to recognize when we are being influenced by the wrong set of brothers, right? Who are also toxic, who learn the quote-unquote game of gaming women as a means of manipulation and taking advantage of women. See, let me tell you something about manipulation and taking advantage of another human being. You have to be lacking humanity to do it. And unfortunately, the toxicity that we picked up in this society makes us less human. So there's a certain disregard. Can we just talk real tonight? There's a certain disregard that a lot of brothers have towards sisters. And when she presented that question to me, can you? And she didn't say it to me. She wasn't like, you say something positive about me, because I always talk positive about her on air and off air. But she was saying brothers can't really say nothing positive or nice about the women they lay with. That was heavy to me, right? By acknowledging the impact of the mother wound, you can shift perspectives. You can find empathy. You can find forgiveness. You can cultivate self-compassion. You can create a new narrative. Men can embark on a journey of healing and growth through this process. They can open up more. They can show love, and they can foster healthier and more fulfilling relationships with their significant others. But it's hard to do that when you think that I'm a man, I'll just deal with it. Huh? I ain't got time to cry over spilled milk. Who gonna pay this cable bill? Right? And she said something that was very powerful. She said, women are more spiritual than men. I paraphrase. I never quote her accurately, verbatim. But she said women are more spiritually attuned, more spiritually astute, more spiritually aware than men are. Brothers have been hurt by caregivers, primary caregivers, just like sisters have been hurt by primary caregivers. But now the question becomes, is she right in her assumption that women are more spiritual than men? Because let me tell you, relationships are spiritual by nature. So if we walk into the situation not looking for how we improve ourselves via the reflection we get from the woman, how often do men recognize, whoa, this girl is mirroring the work I need to do with my mama? How many men go, they get into a conflictual space with their woman, and then they stop and go, wow, this is directly a byproduct of the work I have yet to do around this wound with my mother. How does this wound manifest itself? Well, difficulty expressing emotions. How many sisters have dealt with a brother who's had a hard time saying how he feels, expressing how he feels? Men with a mother wound often struggle to express their emotions openly, fearing vulnerability and potential emotional pain, fear of intimacy. Now, every man can have sex. That's why he has sex with women he don't like. So I can do the act, but is he intimately connected during the act? 1-800-920-1580. Seeking validation. Constantly seeking validation from others as a result of lacking a maternal affirmation can be a sign of unresolved mother wounds. Insecurity and low self-worth. Men with a mother wound may struggle with feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and low. Let me hit you this way. Do you know that there are brothers out there who had both mama and father and got wounds from both of them? Oh, yeah, there's a father wound, too. 1-800-920. Listen, ladies, he might be cute. His wallet might be right. His sex game might be on point. But if he has these indicators that I'm pointing out, insecurity and low self-worth, emotional detachment, perfectionism, difficulty trusting, that's me, avoidance of emotional conversations, recreating patterns, negative self-talk. If he's going through all of this, it stands to reason that he might be suffering with an unhealed mother wound. That's what we want to talk about tonight. We got callers on the line. Let's get him in here. Ryan from Houston, Texas. Get in here. Sean, you got a call back. Brother? Yeah, hey, what up, good friend? How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, it's a great topic, man. It's almost hitting home. It's so close to home, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, talk to me, man. What are your thoughts?
I would say for sure I'm at the point in my relationship where I'm seeing the hole that was left inside of me while trying to help my girlfriend heal. And I'm like, whoa, this mother thing is popping up, and she's kind of holding the mirror up, and it's really me. Like the lack of patience, I thought I was protected, but I'm like, whoa, I got some healing to do. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was just, the timing it just couldn't have been more perfect, because I'm really running into these conversations, and my girl is really patient, and I'm finding like, wow, I had an anger problem I had no idea I even had from my mother issue. I just thought that was just normal response, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I thought I was being a man, so I'm really finding out who I am through this relationship currently.
So can you say something positive about your woman without saying
something? Man, I can't, man. She's extremely just grateful. She's a grateful person. Like, it's a grateful human being. Whether I'm around or not, whether anybody's looking, just a good person. Just a very good person.
Well, that's a compliment. I'll take it. She's a good person. I'll take it. We want to build up and uplift our women. We got to be able to do that. Right? Do you agree or disagree with
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do. I definitely agree. I got to a point where I thought I was, I ended up head to head with my girl. And I'm like, whoa, how did I get here? It's crazy how it comes out. I was trying to hide it. I kind of knew I had a problem. We was talking about her, after we get through talking about her, I'm like, well, it's time for me to really address my issues, because they're coming out, dealing with her and her issues that she has with her father. I'm seeing the hole in my situation.
Man, heavy stuff, brother. I appreciate you hanging on the line. You brought Houston, Texas in the building. Ryan, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Thank you for the call, good brother. Let's get over to Face Facts out of Brooklyn, New York. Are we ready? Face Facts out of Brooklyn, New York. Let's get it. Caller, you're on the line.
What's going on, Zoe? Can you hear?
I can hear you, brother.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, talk to me.
Yeah, what's going on? I was listening to the topic, and it's unfortunate. I think a lot of times we can't say positive things about them, because we basically got to love them through their treachery for us to do that.
Ooh, this is the call I was waiting on. Come on.
Here's the thing, right?
Keep going, brother.
I know and here's the thing, like, anytime you tell the truth, it sounds like hate. But the truth sounds like hate to people that have insidious intention. What happens is we can love women, but I don't think we can really like them, because for us to like them, it requires them to be likable.
Wait. You sound like a pretty intelligent brother. You're not speaking in absolutes, are you?
Of course not.
Okay, cool. Because it sounds like you just said women are treacherous and women are not likable. Your English, your nomenclature, did not specify some, not all.
Yeah, you're right, but I shouldn't have to. I mean, I learned that listening to you.
No, you should. You should have to, because there are other people listening to you besides me. And I just want you to be clear to those folk. We on radio, man. This is terrestrial radio. People listening from all over the country, brother. And I just want you to be clear here. We not talking in absolutes, correct? There are good women out there. There are great women out there that deserve great men, correct?
Correct.
All right, cool. So you're saying some women are treacherous, right?
Well, what I'm saying is the way our society is set up. It's not that women are all treacherous. It's just that based on the rules that are in place of this society, they have the ability to participate in the treachery at a whim of their convenience, basically when they feel like. So it's a time frame issue. It's like, oh yeah, I have a great woman right now. Because a lot of people learn this when they go through divorces and, hostile custody battles. It's all good until it's bad.
But wait a minute. And I agree with you. You're right. People tend to not work on what's up with their relationship until they're in rocky terrain, rocky territory. I got you. And that's a human thing. I get it. But when we're talking about women and treachery and this, that, and the third, can I offer you this, brother, and you push back and tell me how you feel? I believe outside of the mother wound many brothers inherit, right? Outside of the father wound many brothers inherit. Because if 70% of our children are born to single mothers and absentee fathers, I'm sure the propensity for the development of a mother and father wound is pretty high, right?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, cool. So, peep this. The woman you mad at came from the same toxic society that produced you. So how is it that the buck stops with her and her toxicity? If you're calling her treacherous, what is she calling you? And how is this banter keeping up the gender war between the brothers and the sisters? Talk to me.
Well, the main difference is, as a man, I don't have the same societal backing and tools to weaponize against her that she has against
But
me.
as a man, do you need that?
Well, that's the crux of the issue. What can a man really do?
Wait, let's go back, because you brought up a great point. Muhammad Ali didn't have the backing either, but he got through it, didn't he? As a man. Are you asking for the same backing? Are you asking for a fair fight?
No, I'm not. What I'm actually asking for is not to have the fight at all.
Then you need healed people.
Correct. But how do we get there when the women of this society are incentivized to weaponize these systems against us, ultimately to their own detriment in the long run?
A lot of times you can only incentivize this system against brothers is if brothers ain't got their ish together. If you wealthy,
that's not true.
Well, listen to me.
I got to push back on that one.
That's fine,
Okay,
and I'm gonna make space for you to do so. But if a brother got his ish together, so to speak, if he has money, what is the court gonna do to him? That's really gonna hurt him. Nothing. And in most cases, when he does have bread, he got a different kind of leverage than even she does. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. Oftentimes, especially in our community, when you're looking at brothers who are under the gun of child support or whatever, it's usually because they haven't gotten everything in their lives together. I've seen brothers, watch this. How you going to explain this? I seen a brother who had 6 child support cases. solid brother, got a job, works real hard, pays the child support, but he was upset that he felt like he was being taken advantage of by the system. I said, but you did the do. You got 6 kids with 6 different women, and they all put cases on you. So that speaks to the level of consciousness of the woman you chose. That speaks to the business, your personal business. That speaks to, what else? Oh, yeah. Your reproductive responsibility. You just not going to use a condom? After the 3rd case, you're going to keep going until case number 6. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of irresponsible brothers out there too. Then trying to claim victim because the system has been used against them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying with some pushback, but I get where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
That's irresponsible for anyone to have 6 children, right? And then be on cases but again, my argument is, do you relegate fatherhood to a paycheck? Because a deadbeat father goes to jail, but a mother that can't take care of her children gets welfare.
You know why? You know why that is?
Well, there are lots of reasons, but I don't want to get in a Title 4D tonight and
no, brother. No, brother. We having a great conversation. We having a great conversation. Don't duck out now. You done brought Brooklyn, New York in here. Don't come on.
If you want to go there, I'll go there.
Yes, we have to. People are listening. They want to be inspired. So,
okay.
To respond, to retort to what you just said. Brothers, when I ask brothers, what is your primary responsibility to a woman? Many brothers will quote the minister. Protect and provide. Right? They'll quote the minister. And I know a lot of brothers out there quoting the minister, not doing what the minister said do. Protect and provide. Do you know we have a culture amongst our men that actually teaches a double standard? What do you mean, Zoe? You get to treat her like nothing, but bet not nobody mess with the females in our family. Huh? Huh, brother? Speak to that, please.
Well, again, I'm actually in agreement. I understand the protect and provide model. The problem is that, with like most things in our community, it gets contaminated. When you say provide doesn't only mean monetarily.
We agree.
It often gets regular. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we agree with all of that.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of, treating women like garbage either. Like I don't want to come across like that's where the message is going, because it's not. But we have to actually take a considerable look at the behaviors, because even with the mother thing, a lot of times the women in our lives will try to hearken to our mother to make that correlation, is because often we love our mothers, through unearned acts.
Wait, hold that thought. We love our mothers through unearned acts. When we come forward, we going back to Brooklyn, New York. My brother Face Facts is in here cooking.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580 is inviting you to join us on Saturday, September 16th, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for our very first economic empowerment event for the community. This event is free and is powered by Caltrans. We're doing this in association with Rambo House, and here's Rambo to tell you more.
Contracts. I'm going to say it again for all of us small business owners out there. Contracts. Rambo House, KBLA, Tavis, me. Oh my God, this is going to be massive. I truly thank Caltrans for giving us the opportunity to focus on contracts. Listen, that's what it's all about to be a small business in LA. That's how we hire our own. That's how we expand our community, is contracts. KBLA1580.com is for you to have a seat at our contracts-focused event. Contract Ready does it again. We had over 900 last time. So you guys know how exciting this is. And if you just think think that you want to get into contracts and you're close to it, bring your friends out for September 16th at the Marriott Hotel. Listen, you know where to register. KBLA1580.com. Come see me. I can't wait to see you. Let's do it, Tavis.
So be sure to go to KBLA1580.com for all the details. We'll see you Saturday, September 16th.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Day I can go back to when I was born, laying in your arms, wishing you was here today, Mom. Wish you'd appear just for a second from heaven. My tears would be gone. I wouldn't be rapping this song. I'd be happy driving up to your 8-bedroom mansion up late, laughing about the hard times we faced. The galaxy is so enchanting beyond Galileo's understanding. Past the Milky Way and all the planets, there's something out there greater, but only God knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason along with his playlist back in the building. I see a lot of brothers in the chat making excuses. Oh, the condom broke. We're not talking about broken condoms. We're not. We're talking about a man's irresponsibility. Well, you know, sometimes the condom break. We're not talking about accidents. It didn't break 6 times, right? We on a different conversation. Well, that's what chats do. They chat. But I'm having a real discussion here, brother. I'm talking to my brother Face Facts from Brooklyn. And he's bringing up some good points. I'm countering his points. I want to bring him back in because he was making a statement. Get back in here, brother.
Yeah,
brother, yes.
What I was saying was, basically we love our mothers through under and at. Right? But usually, because I'm a parent, so I'll be honest. I'll be candid. Usually when people talk about how good their father was, there was, a burden of performance. There was because to raise children, and especially in this society, especially black children, it does require some sort of sacrifice. Often, mothers don't sacrifice for their children. They sacrifice their children.
Say more. Say more. What do you mean?
Because often mothers will, and again, not all, but what a lot of mothers will do is they'll tell the children and tell other people what they've sacrificed for the children. But then they can't tell you exactly what it is. They're like, oh, well, I've done a lot for my children. And you ask them, like, what? And they can't tell you.
But, well, watch this. I'm going to push back. You do know you're talking about a certain level of consciousness. And this is one of the flaws that I believe Kevin Samuels and others didn't employ. You got to say I'm talking about a certain level of consciousness. I'm talking about a certain demographic of people. I'm talking about a particular mindset. Oftentimes when I hear these talking points, they're spoken in a universal way. Like all women are this way. All brothers are like this. And here's the truth. Brothers really, in general, don't know how to pick a good woman. Because of that mother wound. Because of that absentee father. Because of how they were brought up. Most brothers are picking based on food, kindness, and sex. If we want to be honest. If we want to be honest, most brothers is picking for satisfaction. They're picking for, what I'm going to get out of the situation. They're not picking from a conscious mindset. They're not going into a relationship saying, let me see which one of my flaws will show up this time around. Stay with me, Face Facts. When we come forward, I'm going back to Brooklyn because he cooking.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Georgia state Republican lawmaker is calling for an investigation of Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This comes after Willis charged former President Donald Trump and 18 others with allegedly trying to overturn the state's 2020 election results. State Senator Colton Moore said Willis is conducting a political persecution of Trump. Moore thinks Willis should be completely defunded of any state money and investigated for possible impeachment. He also said a probe is needed due to poor conditions at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta. And more people between 19 and 60 years old are using marijuana and hallucinogenic drugs. That's according to a study from the University of Michigan. It showed that marijuana use has spiked to around 44% of adults under 30, compared to 28% a decade ago. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Southern California Edison. Make plans to stay safe in an emergency or a public safety power shutoff. Have a shared plan for you and your loved ones. Start today at sce.com/be prepared.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As black folk, we know how to face tragedy and not fall into despair. And yet sometimes the points of pain are felt so acutely, especially when we know full well that we're being treated unfairly by our so-called justice system that at times appears to be anything but just. After more than 30 years of public service, Mark Willie Thomas is set to be sentenced on Monday, August 21st, for his conviction on bribery and conspiracy in a federal corruption trial. As you well know, Willie Thomas was found not guilty on 12 of the 19 counts the feds brought against him. This is not your typical corruption case. No lavish trips, no victim, no cash in a brown bag or stashed away in a freezer, no illegal contributions from a wealthy donor, no money received by the accused, no use of taxpayer dollars. There is therefore no need to incarcerate Ridley Thomas to protect the community. Indeed, the probation department has recommended a mere 18-month sentence. But the feds, they want MRT to serve 6 years. 6 years. How is that fair? This happens far too often to defendants who just happen to look a lot like you and me. First, they target you. Then they overcharge you. Then they fight to keep certain folk off the jury. Then they spend millions of your tax dollars prosecuting a victimless $100,000 criminal allegation. Then, typically, they win, and why shouldn't they? In reality, no case of the United States government against you is really a fair trial, if you feel me. Then, after they win, they ask for a sentence of more than 3 times what the probation department is recommending. Again, I ask, how is that fair? I read the federal government's summary document regarding the sentencing of MRT, and the charged language they use is both revealing and despicable. You can clearly see their disdain for the constituent community, for the black clergy who have stood with MRT, and mostly for MRT, daring to exercise his constitutional right to even go to trial to defend himself. The feds demanding a 6-year sentence in this case is their way of punishing an uppity Negro who dared to fight back. Let's hope that the judge in this case sees through this racist masquerade and delivers a sentence of time commensurate with the crime, even as MRT appeals this verdict. There are no good times to be black in America, and sometimes are worse than others. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your comments.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
When I was pregnant in jail, I thought I was going to have a baby.
Suspended from school, I'm scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys breaking all the rules. Shed tears with my baby sister. Over the years, we was poor than other little kids. And even though we had different daddies, the same drama when things went wrong, we blame mama. I reminisce on the stress I caused. It was hell, hugging on my mama from a jail cell. And who thinking elementary? Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Running from the police, that's right. Mama,
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason, friends and family. Welcome to the second hour. You already know how we do. We have some of the most difficult conversations around intimate relationships anywhere in talk radio. Tavis Smiley has given me the keys to the 7 to 9 p.m. time slot. And we're talking about it tonight. Tonight's a heavy topic. It was brought to me by my girl, man. My woman told me about this. Brothers, what do you love about sisters? Because the internet after 2020 blew up with brothers complaining about sisters. Sisters ain't this. Sisters ain't that. Sisters. The government backs the sisters. The sister. Has anything the sister did to you, brother? Has anything the sister has done to you? And I'm sure that there are examples of it. I'm sure the brothers are going to give them to me. But let's be honest. Have sisters done to us anything along the magnitude of what we've done to ourselves? Killing each other? You can go on YouTube right now and see all those little clips, right? Of brothers hopping out the car at the gas station, shooting at each other. Are sisters responsible for that? Some would say yes. Some would say they mamas raised them. Right? They didn't have no father in the home. The mama ran the father off. Can I tell you, you black in America, at the bottom of every socioeconomic chart or stat there is, you trying to tell me that a toxic society didn't produce toxic people? And what makes it worse is that a man that this toxic society produced will turn and look at the woman and blame the woman for being toxic, for being a product of this toxic society. Well, you know, the government backs them. Yeah, okay. What I do know is this. When men have it together, right? When I say together, I mean legally. I mean, you know, you got current tags on your car. Huh? I'm saying when men have it together, financially, intellectually, career-wise, spiritually, guess what? They tend to avoid a lot of the mess y'all complaining that the woman has an advantage in. They tend to avoid it. Who's the richest man on planet Earth right now? Bezos? Jeff Bezos? Right, he got divorced, right? He got divorced, right? Yeah, he got divorced, and what did he do? Here, here's $2 billion. Now, I'm not saying we got the same wealth they got, but if brothers, instead of forming gangs, were to form community coalitions where we seek to work with each other, where we seek to cultivate the youth, where we seek to transition to you. Wherever there's a gap in the community, brothers stand in it. Right? Imagine all the energy and effort put into gangbanging if we put it into community building. If we put it into self-work. If we put it into healing ourselves from the toxic environments we came from. Do you think our relationships with our women would be better? Or is it easier to blame her? And she is just as much of a byproduct of a toxic society as you are. I'm just trying to understand. You know, women ain't nothing. Women, listen, a lot of men are insecure. I'm going to tell you why. Because women make them that way. Why? Because of the cookie. Don't let her be cute. She got a cookie and she cute. Many men were not taught from the age of young men, boys, to be confident in themselves. Now, sometimes you get the boys that are overconfident. Typically, they play sports. Typically, they play sports. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're overconfident. There's hyper masculinity. But when you talk about the regular around the way dude, the regular guy, typically he doesn't have the confidence of somebody he listens to on his iPhone. He doesn't have the confidence of somebody he watches on ESPN. So what tends to happen is, and he came from a household like everybody else, he probably got a mother wound, a father wound, an uncle wound, a cousin wound. He probably got some issues. He tends to capitulate and placate. And he tends to take on this culture in our society where you got brothers who are master manipulators who teach younger brothers how to be relationship thespians, actors. Hey, do it like this. You'll get further. Hey, and then after you do it, after you achieved your goal, brother, this is what you got to do. You got to ignore her. Especially if you did the thing, if you did your job and you put that pipe on her, you did your thing, she gonna come chasing you. That's saying, I need validation. That's saying, I need approval. Healthy men don't do this to women. Healthy men be like, you know what, that was very good. And guess what? What are your plans next weekend? Let's go somewhere else. Let's do something else. Healthy men like women. We like y'all. We want to sit back and listen to you talk. We be like, oh, word. Hey, that's interesting. Healthy men, you know what? We can learn something from women too. We just, hey, what's your opinion on this? From your perspective. We're interested, inquisitive, and we are engaged in you. Healthy men. Unhealthy men don't trust you as far as they can trust their mama. See, the source of, you got to understand now, that mother wound is an intricate wound. Why? Because you love your mama, even though you don't like your mama. You don't like who your mama was to you. You have a different vision of who you think your mama was supposed to be to you. And then you go out in the world and you looking for a woman to be a mother supplement, a mother vitamin. You come in and supplement everything she was supposed to do. Most men are insecure. Let's just tell the truth. That's why he gotta lead with his wallet. He think he ugly. He thinks he's not enough. So he thinks if I take you to Nobu, you gonna think I'm enough based on the car I'm in and the establishment we go to. That's what's gonna win you over. If she ain't won over by your presence, immediately you should stop the date and go, listen, I got some internal work to do. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Listen, so a lot of brothers. This is why when my girl said women are more spiritual, right? I don't think a lot of men lean into the spiritual side of relating. Why? Because we're linear in our thinking. We think if we got the money, we got the resources, we got a car, we can take them somewhere, we can show them a good time, we're going to get our comeuppance. Can you get your comeuppance based on your spirit alone, brother? Ooh, that's a heavy question. Facts. Face Facts from Brooklyn. Get back in here.
Yeah, so to your point, I don't think they can do it with just their presence or their spirit, because again, we got to draw a separation line. Especially in our community. You have men and then you have mother-raised males. Those are the men that are out there tearing up the community. So when we say that we blame the woman for what she's done to the community, we're basically saying that she's accountable for those who fit into that mother-raised male category. Now, when you spoke earlier about the men that have their stuff together, we have to also give respect to what that takes in this society, because the men that are able to accomplish that are severely handicapped in doing it.
Continue, brother. Continue. I'm listening.
Yeah, the amount of heavy lifting that it takes for a man to climb out of being raised in a lot of those situations where you just have the mother, you have no father. Because I have to be honest, the family court system that we have in this country is very unforgiving. They will and can use ways to run off even good fathers, even fathers who, that maybe they're not independently wealthy, but they earn a good living. Mm-hmm. A lot of times that's not enough to navigate through that system. You're looking at $15,000 just for someone to take your case in some states.
But wait, let me stop you. Because yesterday I did this, and last weekend I did this as well. We got to normalize Herculean efforts being difficult. Let's just normalize it. Listen, I'm a product of foster care. My mother had 6 kids. By the time she was 27, I was number 6. She lived in the projects for 10 years before she had me. So, come on, man. I've been through hell. I've been through literally hell. Who would think that I would be in the position I'm in today? You know what got me through it? I normalized the hard work. Right? Sometimes we will frame things in such a way that it sounds like an excuse. You know how hard it is for the men who have done it? Yes, it was hard. But if we normalize it, it won't be as hard. Let me give you an example. There's a clip out there of Phil Handy, a Laker trainer, talking about Kobe Bryant. He said, this is when I started to really respect Kobe. And he said, yo, man, why are you such an a-hole to all the guys on the team? You know what he said? He says, I know each and every individual on this team. I know when they come to practice. I know when they leave. Some come to practice 10 minutes before practice starts. Many of them leave as soon as practice is over. He said, I'm not passing them the ball because they haven't earned the right for me to pass them the ball. I watch them put in the work, or I watch them not put in the work. And if they're not putting in the work, I'm not passing them the ball. They haven't earned a pass from me. Kobe was trying to normalize hard work for others. It was normal for him to be in the gym at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. That was normal. You see all of these videos of these former players talking about Kobe saying stuff like, gosh, when I got up to go to practice, he was walking out of the gym. He was already in a full sweat, a full lather. He went, got something to eat, got something to drink, came right back and did another 2 hours when I was leaving. We have to normalize the work, face facts. So many of us want to look at others be great and marvel at what it took for them to be great. But brothers, if you want to be great, the same kind of effort he put into basketball, you should put into healing your spirit. You're going to attract a different level, a different quality, a different caliber of woman if you do that. Do you disagree?
No, I don't. But I am glad you brought up Kobe, because I'm going to use that example so you can understand where I'm coming from.
All right.
When I speak about how because saying that dealing with the family court is hard is an understatement. Is there any contextual scenario where you would say to yourself that, you knowing the work that Kobe put in, you would start Luke Walton over Kobe?
I would never start Luke Walton over Kobe.
That's what a man deals with when he goes in the family court. A man could be Kobe Bryant and the court will still say, we'll start Luke Walton over you.
Wait a minute. So you think I don't understand your point?
No, I know you understand my point. I'm
Okay.
making sure the people listening can understand the point.
All right, so let me push back on that. When did we stop being black, brother? Whether it's the family court or it's cops shooting us in the street, we are black men. We always been public enemy number one. So we need balance and fairness in the court. In an ideal, healthy society, I agree, 100%. But because racism still exists in America, you think you're going to get it?
Absolutely not.
So why complain about it?
I'm not complaining. I'm just having a discussion and pointing it out.
No, I got you, brother. I'm saying this is what brothers have been doing. They've been complaining about the disparity. They've been complaining about the judicial bias or the inequity when it comes between black men and black women. What I'm saying is society is toxic and it's racist, and it's been that way for a long time. So what we doing?
Correct. But
the one thing that we haven't done is unify 100%. Am I lying?
No, you're 100% correct on that point.
That's one thing we haven't done. We've done gangs better than anybody can do a gang. We've done that better than anybody. Nobody is better at gangbanging than us. Am I lying? Name some gangs colder than us.
Listen, I agree with you. I think that we should unify on that particular topic, especially because ultimately it's a detriment to the children.
Especially if you don't like the woman you got pregnant. Tell me we don't do that, bruh.
Honestly, I gotta say, yeah, a lot of men do that. But then the opposite effect is also true. A lot of times you don't get to see who that woman is until she believes she has because a lot of times the baby gives her leverage, or so she thinks.
But
so a lot of times
I hear this. This is the game, bro. You are labeling and outlining the game. I'm talking about, we don't know who she is. You don't know who she is because you don't know who you are. And you were raised in a situation that didn't tell you to look for you in the relationships you entertain. A lot of us don't know this. And you're 100% right. Sometimes we're blindsided. But I'm going to tell you this, bro. And I've been saying it for years. Relationships are a highly reflective classroom where the spiritual feedback you get from your partner is your personal curriculum. You're supposed to go into a relationship to see how you're going to be triggered and to see how you're going to respond to those triggers. I have brought clinicians in, philosophers, babalaos, card readers, astrologers. I done brought everybody in on this show to give you multiple perspectives to understand that you should never take an eye off yourself while you're relating. Now, it's our job, brother, you and I. It's our job, right? To raise the youngsters to understand Oh, I didn't know who this girl was. Well, you're not going to know who each and every one of them are. But if you go into the relationship looking for how you show up, how your weaknesses show up, how your wounds are making demands, I guarantee you, you're going to start being able to pick better women. Am I lying?
No, listen, I agree with you because I'm in a different position than I was when I got into the situation that I'm in now. So I completely understand. And again, your show and your content has a lot to do with, the personal growth. It caused me to look at things a lot differently. But what I'm speaking to is the situation that a lot of men are in. Their house is on fire and they're trying to put it out with gasoline after it's on fire.
Right. I agree. Man, let me just say this, brother. You were an amazing caller, man, and I appreciate you for calling in and lacing me with all this good game. Thank you so much. Brooklyn, BK in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. The intricate web of human psychology often traces back to the earliest bonds formed within the family structure, particularly the relationship between a man and his mother, the concept of a mother wound. It delves into the emotional imprints left on men by their maternal relationships, influencing their capacity to open up and express love in intimate relationships. Understanding why many men may struggle with healing from the mother wound is a journey into the depths of psychology, unraveling the complex interplay of past experiences, societal norms, and personal growth. At its core, the mother wound reflects unresolved emotional conflicts stemming from issues like neglect, abandonment, or emotional unavailability during critical developmental stages in the child's life. The formative years shape a man's sense of self-worth, emotional regulation, and the ability to forge meaningful connections. The failure to receive maternal nurturing and affirmation can manifest as an internalized belief that vulnerability equates to weakness. I don't know if y'all hearing that. Consequently, these men may develop defensive mechanisms, guarding themselves against potential emotional pain by avoiding genuine intimacy. Society's influence further compounds this struggle. Traditional gender norms often emphasize emotional restraint and toughness in men, creating a paradox where they are simultaneously yearning for emotional connection while suppressing their innate emotional expression. Breaking free from these societal constraints demands a redefinition of masculinity, granting men permission to embrace their feelings without compromising their strength. If you can't be vulnerable with your woman, why is she your woman? We've been taught to villainize sisters. Can I be honest? Am I lying? Brothers in general, the way our society is set up, we love the women in our family. Let's speak to that double standard. We love the women in our family. But the women outside of our family, we treat like trash. In general, some banal. Am I lying? Like you do something to my niece. I got about 8. I got about 8 nieces. Do something to any one of them. It's a whole contingency coming for you. My daughter? Boy. I'm talking about the flames of Lucifer. I'm letting all Lucifer's hell heat out on you. But ask me, have I treated every woman I was with kindness, with grace, with understanding, with compassion? I ain't gonna lie to you, I ain't treated everybody well. Shoot, my girl who got me now got the best version of me. I swear to God. If she would have had 10 years ago, different. She had 15 years ago? Oh, Lord, 15 years ago. Don't do 15. Woo! When we come forward to Voice of Reason, I'm going back to the phone line. We on fire.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Georgia State Republican lawmaker is calling for an investigation of Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This comes after Willis charged former President Donald Trump and 18 others with allegedly trying to overturn the state's 2020 election results. State Senator Colton Moore said Willis is conducting a political persecution of Trump. Moore thinks Willis should be completely defunded of any state money and investigated for possible impeachment. He also said a probe is needed due to poor conditions at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta. And more people between 19 and 60 years old are using marijuana and hallucinogenic drugs. That's according to a study from the University of Michigan. It showed that marijuana use has spiked to around 44% of adults under 30, compared to 28% a decade ago. And that's the latest. I'm Esther Dillard from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Southern California Edison. Make plans to stay safe in an emergency or a public safety power shutoff. Have a shared plan for you and your loved ones. Start today at sce.com/be prepared.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said, Mama said. I went walking the other day and everything was going fine. I met a little boy named Billy Joe, and then I almost lost my mind. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, we full circle. After having come forward, the Voice of Reason and his playlist are on fire. We're talking about a very interesting topic. Come on. What are your thoughts? You've been here. You've been listening this whole time, and I've seen your face. What are your thoughts? The way we deal with women, is it indicative of an unhealed mother wound, or do you think it's also partly responsible or partly due to we as brothers have a culture of marginalizing and minimizing women?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I think that even in my head just now, attempting to respond, my immediate thought was to say, well, we are dealing with trauma, so we all just got to deal with it, you know? So I don't know what they complaining about, but at the same time, there is a culture within our community specifically to kick the dog walls down, so to speak, you know, to because I'm having a bad day, I come through and I express that negativity or push what I'm feeling onto someone else who truly doesn't have anything to do with it. And I think that is often where black women are posited in the scenario of dealing with black men and black women relationships, and definitely within the context of romantic relationships as well. It's the idea of I can go out into the world and get beat up, but I can still come home and beat up on you, even if it's not physically, emotionally.
But see, this is what I'm saying. You hit me so hard in the head, right? Do you think we just need to have a show on ghetto relationships?
Yeah,
because I believe that a lot of these podcasts and videos and stuff that's out there, it's about ghetto love.
It is about ghetto relationships. It's definitely about, especially like if you check out on YouTube what people were talking about, it's about, should he pay for my nails and my hair? Like
it's like it's project love.
Project love, struggle love.
It's project love.
Project love.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because to me, listen, I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it until the end of my days. Relationships are spiritual. This is how you discover what's wrong with you, is in a relationship.
Agreed.
I got to do ghetto relationships. That's what I'm doing. Callers are on the line. Let's get LaToya. Who's this? LaToya and Will from Cleveland. Get in here.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Hey.
Yeah, hey, Zo.
Yes. What are your
Look
thoughts
right
on tonight's topic?
I feel like it was a very diverse topic. It was a very, it had a big bandwidth, as they call it.
So what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Do you have any opinions? Do you have any
About relationships?
Yes, about what we were talking about.
Yeah, what we've been talking about all this time and everything. How about I forgot? I hate to forget things. That's my family dooley.
Okay.
But I feel like the topic spoke to me and my husband's relationship in the fact that men and women process emotions differently.
Oh, wow, we lost her. Oh, goodness. You got to call back, LaToya. LaToya, call us back. Call us back, please. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get to Truemonger out of Dallas, Texas. True Measy Get in here.
Yes, sir. Oh man, this topic here. Yeah, some men do like hate on their, speak down on their women because of their mother issues or even their father issues. Their fathers could have told them how to act towards women, and they just carry that mess on. Or they see examples outside the home, and they think that's how it's supposed to go. It's not always the case, and you think as you get older, you may grow out of those certain things. But for some people, it just sticks with them and gets worse, and they think that's how they're supposed to talk to their woman. And then they do all that, and they're like it's supposed to be all good until the woman gets to the point where they don't take it no more, and then they wonder what happened. Like, you can't go around just dogging your woman out. If you don't like who you with, why are you with them? Just so you can say you can lay claim to somebody? Just so you can say you with somebody? That's a waste of your.
We done lost Truemonger too. Truemonger, call back, brother. Call back, brother. I need you. You cooking. Please call back. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Ghetto Gourmet, Michigan. Battle Creek, Michigan. Get them in here while we waiting on True. What we not gonna do. Come on.
What we not gonna do. Peace and love to the family, Nation's Honor, Zoe, staff, and Tavis Smiley, all of that. What we not gonna do is act like that there is not a male and a female who is searching for relationships that have healed to the point in their trauma, who still has healing that needs to be done, but who hasn't healed to the point to where they're not going to wreck their relationship. There are sisters out there. Peace and love to the sisters. Listen, it might be rare, might be unusual, but I cannot allow this whole broadcast, and honors to you and your syndication and all of that. I love you, bro. No, there are folks who are doing the work, who are works in progress, who have healed to the point to where it's not going to be toxic for us to be together, and we can continue.
Wait, Heru, what you
Yes,
not
sir.
gonna do?
What I'm not going to do.
What you not gonna do?
What I'm not going to do. Respectfully.
Is call in here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is call in here and make it seem like I did not represent the other side of this discussion.
No, that wasn't you. That wasn't on you. That was on the callers. And I love the callers. I love the chat. No, that absolutely was not on you.
Okay, now.
That was. I'm not trying to expose, call you out. No, respect, King. No, what we not going to do. I got tired of hearing, it's like, wait a minute. There's some brothers who have healed enough in their trauma from their mother and father wounds who attract, because we attract who we are, not necessarily what we want. Right? We attract, there are. I'm a living testimony. I'm sorry, all the calls that dropped previous and all that. Listen, it can be done. It is being done. But tonight, to my sisters, we love you. We love you. And in spite of whatever this unique stuff that they putting out there and all that stuff, Mocha Neek or Mocha Fest or whatever in Houston with the syphilis and all, it is what it is. Outliers. Peace and love to the family and nations. Y'all stay safe. Heal. Continue to be works in progress and actively work. I love y'all.
There we go. True. Hey, this my brother, man. I love you, Heru Ali. You brought Michigan
love
in the building. Listen, let's get
love.
Truemonger from Dallas back in here to finish his thought. All right, True. Get back in here, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, your thought.
Yes, sir. I don't know where I got cut off at, but what I was saying, some people, for whatever reason, they feel like they have to dog their woman out to make themselves feel better because they don't want to face whatever wound they're trying to avoid. It could be their mother wound, could be their father wound, could be both. Because we don't know what people are really exposed to at a young age. and what they absorb, and they carry that on to their adult relationships. And to me, if you dogging your partner out, especially in public, you putting them on blast, but you claim you love them, something's wrong. Something's really wrong with you, and you need help. If you with somebody that you claim you love, but you feel like you gotta dog them out all the time just to make yourself feel right.
Man, this is crazy, bro. This is a crazy time because I know how I was raised to deal with women. And I wasn't raised to deal with women in the best way.
Me either.
You know, just to be just limited in my presence, I would limit my presence. You know, I would limit my attention, my focus. I would limit my emotions. You know, and in an arrogant kind of way, I would be like, just be happy you're here. You know, just be happy that I'm messing with you.
Right.
And I had to grow and learn that, especially at the higher levels of relating, that's not enough. Right? That's not enough, bro. You have to come in open. For many years, I was coasting in relationships because I let it be known in the beginning, I ain't opening up. I'm just not. This how we gon', you chill with me the way you chill with me, and whatever it is, that's what it is. I'm not jumping through no hoops. I'm not sharing. I'm not doing nothing. But as I got older, I started to realize that that's the recipe for loneliness. That's the recipe for abject unhappiness. I'm still a human being. I want to connect with somebody that will allow me to be the real me. And I want to be able to create the same space for them to do that too. But I'm starting to realize that I was raised in a cultural construct, an ideological construct that passes it down from older brother to younger brother, that really teaches brothers how to marginalize and minimize sisters. Can we just be honest about that? Because people want to push back on that like that's not happening. Is that happening true or not?
No, it happens. It happens all the time. I've been a part of that. I saw it throughout my family. I still see it to this day. And people have to be willing to recognize it and put the work in. Like, most people put in more effort to avoid doing the work than to recognize what they're doing and do better.
That's good stuff.
They'll put more focus on distractions and then their self-worth. Because they may think what they're doing is okay. Right. And they're not willing to listen to anybody that's telling them different.
Right.
So at some point, they need to be held accountable for that.
But true.
Or, like you said,
what was happening in your mind when the caller, Face Facts, was saying women are treacherous?
I can understand where he's coming from, because some women are. That's where he needs to make a distinction. Some women are like that. Some women use what they got to set people up, and we're all are aware of that to some degree. We've seen some sort of that happen. So,
well, let's do it this way.
In general,
let's do it this way then. Okay, some women are treacherous. Some men are treacherous. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll go with some but all. Some but not all. Great.
Right.
But when I look at the treachery of our people, like you can look at the creation of hip hop. It was born out of destitution. It was born out of the Nicky Barnes, Frank Lucas era of heroin. It was born out of gang violence on the East Coast in New York. That's what it was born out of, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now everybody want to argue about that.
Okay. Those brothers got together and said, we're going to do something different, and hip-hop was born out of that. Something positive, right?
Right.
Okay. What about the person you talking about, the treacherous person, right? The treacherous women. There are some treacherous. Can we not look in stereo and say that treacherous woman learned from somebody treacherous? She learned treachery. Our culture is treacherous.
Yeah. Because none of us come out the womb acting like that. We all learn things from other people, and then we unfortunately apply some of those things to ourselves.
But let me come back though. True. You know, like I know, most dudes will have sex with the treacherous woman. She got suitors. Okay, if she treacherous, why does she have suitors?
Because they're not thinking with the right brain.
So that
they're
tells
not
me
with the right head.
So you cannot exonerate them, right? You got to take responsibility for messing with the treacherous ones.
Oh yeah, you gotta hold yourself accountable for that.
There you go.
I've had my fair share, and I can't blame nobody but myself.
But that's what I'm saying.
So
you don't. Do you know? Most of us can recognize treachery. Let's just think on this right here. Most of us can recognize treachery in another person. Now ask yourself, how are you able to recognize treachery if it's not inherently a part of you?
Because you probably experienced it at some point.
Boom! You get who you are. You get who you are. So if you recognize paranoia, insecurity, ego, some of that's in you. That's how you are able to recognize it.
All right.
So that's bringing my point back to this point. You can't just unilaterally shift it and go, women are treacherous. That's how the brother said it.
You gotta talk about the individuals that you dealt with. You just can't put it on everybody. Just because you had some bad experiences with a few.
Right.
And apply it to everybody. That doesn't work.
Right. Hey, man, I appreciate it, brother, man. Thank you, man, for going back and forth with me. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Who is that at the top of the line? I don't see a name on top of that. Who is that? Let me get them in here as well. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Talk to me.
This is Bill.
Bill?
No, it's just Bill Williams.
No, this ain't Bill Williams. Who is Bill Williams?
Man, I don't know. I got disconnected and called back. I apologize. I'm a fan of your show.
Oh, okay. This is Zoe Williams for sure, but not Bill.
Okay. I don't know where I got that, man. I'm in my car.
That's all right, my friend.
The reason I called is I was driving, and I listen to your show whenever I can. But I was driving, and you were talking about the brothers' major damage with the mother and how they were raised. And I said, "Man, you're talking about my son." And so I called in, and the fella answered, and I said, "Does Zoe do any therapy sessions on the side?" He said, "Well, hold on. I didn't know he was going to put me on the air."
I'm not a therapist.
And all of a sudden, you aren't?
I'm not a therapist, but
I've gone online. I went on your website, and I was trying to look for a contact number or an email, and I've seen that you've written a lot of books, man. Man, you sure nail it. Whatever subject you're talking about, you really nail it to the wall.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I wish you were, because I'd love to have him talk to you, man. He's a wreck, you know.
Well, I definitely do coaching. All you got to do is go to my website, MrZowhat.com. MrZowhat.com. Mr. Zowhat. Just go there and definitely fill out the questionnaire. And if I can't help you, I'll definitely send you to Dr. Jashana Johnson, Dr. Shalonda Crawford, Dr. Pacoya Robinson, Mayumi McKinley. I got a whole crew of people that can get it done.
Oh, great, man. I appreciate it. All right, I'll reach out through your website.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
thanks for the excellent work that you do and all the help that you're giving folks out there.
Man, I appreciate this call. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Let's get Latoya back in here from Louisiana. Latoya from Louisiana. Talk to me now. Give me your final thought.
Louisiana?
Yeah.
I'm from Detroit.
You from Detroit? They said y'all call
Do
them
you
from...
know that Detroit, the word Detroit means straight?
It means...
With a small passage.
Really?
Yeah, so I just be like, shorty, I'm straight from the D.
Okay. So your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I thought it was a well-rounded conversation.
Thank you.
It spoke to a relationship of me and my husband met in 2001. I was 19 and he was 21.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up together. And I think that's important for people to remember. If you marry somebody that you grew up with, if y'all could be 65, but when y'all look in each other's eyes, y'all still gonna be 19 and 21.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
My husband, he had to lay down because he wake up at the crack of dawn, so you know.
Well, let me just say this. I appreciate you for calling in and then hanging up and then calling back. You got hung up.
I didn't hang up.
I don't know what happened to you, but
the connection got lost. I didn't never hang up.
It's okay. I'm thanking you for calling back. Can I call you? Can I thank you for calling back?
I will accept your apology.
Thank you, love. We appreciate it. And I hope I hear from you on Monday when I come forward on the new topic. We appreciate the call. Thank you. All right. So let me just say this, guys. In context of intimate relationships, healing from the mother wound, brothers, paves the way for transformative growth. As men learn to dismantle their emotional barriers, we might become capable of profound emotional intimacy, empathy, and open communication with our sisters. Vulnerability becomes our superpower, enabling us to forge connections that transcend societal norms. Listen, the ancient Egyptian goddess, Kemetan goddess, known as Isis to the Greeks, Aset to the Kemetans. Aset, her name, her very name, in hieroglyphs represents the throne. Any pharaoh that ever sat on the throne was sitting on Aset, aka Isis. Her name means the throne. Your woman should be the throne of your relationship, brother. But you skeptical of her because you haven't healed your mother wound, or you haven't broke up with the silly, manipulative, childish hood games that you learned in the hood on how to interact with black women. Your woman is supposed to be the throne. How can she be in such an intimate position and you scared of intimacy? How can she be put in her proper position and you scared to open up to her? You don't trust her. You don't trust her because there's things that need to be dealt with in you. I know brothers don't want to hear it that way. But you got to stop living, brothers, with that double standard. You don't get to treat your mama and them good while you're treating sisters bad. You don't get to do that. You just forgot some of your African belief systems. In Ifa, the woman is integral to everything. You can't have nothing without the Iami is what they call, the sacred mothers. Your whole life is ruined if you ain't got the sacred mothers lined up. And guess who are the daughters of the sacred mothers? More than just the women in your family, the women you date. Listen, I started the conversation, you finish it. up next. You already know Jill Monroe. You better RSVP with her. The fire continues. I see y'all next Monday with another slapper.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Georgia state Republican lawmaker is calling for an investigation of Black Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This comes after Willis charged former President Donald Trump and 18 others with allegedly trying to overturn the state's 2020 election results. State Senator Colton Moore said